What's going on, everybody? Riley Welch, owner of 92 Social. Welcome to the 92 Social podcast. Before I get to my guest today, make sure you hit the subscribe button, you like it, you leave a comment. Today I am talking to Antonio. He's a real estate agent in Toronto. We get into the celebrity real estate. We talk about Toronto real estate. So let's check it out. What's going on, everybody? Riley Welch, owner of 92 Social. Welcome to another episode of the 92 Social podcast. Today I have my good friend, but he has a great history, a great profession that I want to dig into. So let me introduce to you my boy, Tony Carvallo from Bibby Group Real Estate Team. What is poppin', dude? It's a long time.
What's going on, Riley? Everything's well?
No, not bad, not bad. So what's going on, buddy? How's things?
Well, not much. Just doing what everyone's doing, staying in as much as possible, but breaking a little bit of the rules here and there. And I got to go out for groceries and park and runs, but I'm trying to maintain positive thinking and just working where I can.
Yeah, it's hard not to go out just for a walk.
Yeah,
because your mental state is like, for me, I can speak about myself. Is like, I need to get out. You know?
Oh yeah. First 2 weeks I was back. I was in Australia when this all started, and I was nuts. Like, I was inside 2 weeks, beard here, hairs down here. Some days I don't even know, how many days I showered. I started playing video games until 9 a.m. It was really a joke. But after the fourth week, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I started getting out when I could.
Yeah, it's always funny talking to people saying, for example, playing games to 9 a.m. or doing this and doing that. For me, I just kept eating. And I went from like semi-fit to like now, oh God, borderline dad bod.
Oh, it's COVID pounds.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? It's a Tuesday. I deserve a drink. Yeah. One drink leads to two, and then chips, and then chips.
Summers are right off.
Oh, everyone's, God, yeah.
No memberships, no parks to work out at. So I've been working out in my kitchen. I had an exercise bike for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And but now I just do the workouts at home. I got a program from a friend of mine who's a trainer, and that's what I'm doing to keep active and keep fit where I can. And I'm having people over once in a while, 3-4 max. I did sliders with the boys yesterday on a Sunday. So so I'm still kind of living life. I'm just certain businesses, they say, hey, wear a mask. I'm like, no problem, wear a mask. And I just keep my distance from people. But there's some people who are super weirded out, like gloves, mask, 5 meters away. They look at you a certain way. It's like, okay, I'll just walk past you. No problem.
Yeah, if that's how you want to do it, that's how you want to do it. Exactly. Yeah. See, for me, I can't work out in a condo, man. It's just
you got to do it.
I tried yesterday, and it was the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like bumping into like chairs and like couches. I have to like reform stuff. I don't like it.
That's your workout. So you know what you got to do? You got to put on a video, wake up early, put on a David Goggins or something where he's just basically shitting on you or talking. Oh, am I allowed to swear on here? I'm allowed to swear on here? No, basically tells you, don't be a wuss. Get it done. Find a way. No excuses. That's it. After like 3 days of seeing that, then you'd be like, okay, fuck, I'm going to do it.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. For me, I have to get that in my skull. Cause I'm a creature of habit. So once I get into that habit, I'll be fine. But it's just the whole point of like,
you're a bicep guy and just grab some chairs and do curls all day.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oops. So yeah, man, thanks for coming on the podcast. It's a pleasure because I know we know each other for a while now, going back to the like restaurant days, and I always admired your hustle into anything that you want to get into, you're getting into, and that's one of the things I kind of admire. And it was one of those attributes that would be perfect for the podcast, and because this podcast is all about growing the community, growing small businesses or people that are been affected, or just creating a big Canadian community. So first and foremost, how'd you get into real estate?
Sure. How did I get into real estate? So for me, people think it's funny when I tell them this, but television. I essentially was working a 9 to 5 job. I was doing pretty well for myself, but I didn't enjoy it. And I watched a lot of real estate television shows. And there was a gentleman and he's pretty well known. He's a builder developer in Toronto. He's not big, but he's well known. His name is Brad Lamb. And he used to have this show, I think it was called Big City Broker. And I used to watch that show religiously. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible now that I watch it.
Yeah.
But me being, in my early 20s, late teens, I was like, I want to do that. I had no idea what real estate encompassed. I had no idea what the process was really, other than nice lofts, nice condos, nice cars. How do I get that? How do I strive for that? So that's what made me leave my job and try to get into real estate. It was a hustle though. It was very hard at first. Mm-hmm.
Well, what were the challenges?
Challenges is understanding how to spend your money, because sometimes you'll get a nice big check, but that might be the only big check for a while. So you need to understand how to spend your money, where to spend your money, when to spend your money, and to pay your taxes. So you don't get taxed up front. So you need to know that you need to put money aside for taxes, and understanding your own personal spending. You don't need the nice car yet. You don't need the condo yet. Find what works for you. So that was the first few challenges for me, and growing my business as well was a challenge. There's only so much you can use only your friends and family.
Right. Yeah. And when you were figuring out the details and all that, how important is social media to real estate?
Well, back then it wasn't as important. So, but now I'd say it's a lot more important. And you'll see even some of the older guys who have been in the game for a long time are starting to branch out into social media. So I would say there's two ways. There's social media agents, people who benefit strictly from social media and get business from social media. And then there's agents who don't do so much, but they understand the importance of having an online presence. When people Google you or search you, they need to find, what do you do? Who are you? What do you sell? So that's part of your brand now. So it's super, super important to have some sort of social media platform.
Yeah. So now with that being said, how has, like, in the time that we're in right now, how has it been effective? Because I know some businesses thrive in this culture and others just don't. So what's going on in real estate?
So what I can say is, hold on. Sorry, Riley. I heard a sound there. I just want to turn that down. So what I can say is, when there's a hard time in business, if you can afford to spend. If your marketing is available or you want to put money into marketing, you should, even if it's social media. But you have to maintain that presence. Hard times might be hard right now, but when times are good, you need people to remember who you were. You were that guy that I kept seeing on social media. It's in their brain. Oh, I remember that sold property, or I remember that face, or I remember that slogan of some sort, whatever your way of doing it is. But it just keeps you relevant in their mind. So especially with younger generations, I would say anyone under 30 is probably on Instagram.
Yeah, it's funny because I find myself more recently kind of getting lost in YouTube, watching the property tours and those things where I'm like, that's my house one day. Oh, no, that's my house one day.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing here, what you're doing there. So with that being said, have you noticed, and you also mentioned that social media wasn't a big thing a couple of years or 5-10 years ago. Now, knowing that taking out social media, have you noticed any trends that you didn't really think of that are important now?
In terms of social media?
Or real estate, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, real estate agents were all on Twitter. I would say that's just very minimal now. Twitter's not really big for real estate, from my experience. But there's been a surge on Instagram. I would say every real estate agent's on Instagram because it's what we call property porn. It's essentially property porn. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a sale from it, but you'll get a lot of interest. And because of algorithms, the more interest there is, depending on the neighborhood, depending where they are, they'll get your stuff kept pushed to them on their feed. So I would say in terms of trends, the biggest thing that I see now is video. Videos, not just properties, just people speaking to the camera, talking about who they are, what their thought of the day is, some tips and tricks for real estate. That seems to be the big thing with agents right now.
Are you a fan of the celebrity agents like a Ryan Serhant or?
So Sirhan, I saw him last January in New York.
Yeah.
Am I a fan of Sirhan? Absolutely. Sirhan over Selling Sunsets. I don't know if you know what that is. Selling Sunsets is a show on Netflix right now.
Okay.
These two twins. They have a bunch of women selling real estate for them. But the difference is Sirhan has things that I can take back, and he's a hustler, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
which I love. And he admits when, okay, I was failing in this area. I decided to move to Brooklyn. It's kind of like Toronto. In Toronto, I wasn't doing so well. I decided to go in a different part of Toronto to work on things. So I love Sirhan. I would say Sirhan up here, Selling Sunset down here for me, because that's more entertainment,
Yeah.
less
Oh, for
less
sure.
about process and how to engage your clients. So
Yeah, see, for me, I'm a huge Ryan Serhant fan for multiple reasons.
yeah,
Because his content is not just real estate focused. Like
yeah,
he uses that as an example.
yeah,
But he, like you were saying, he has that hustle, and that's one of the things I kind of took away from him. And
yeah,
just his like YouTube content where he's more motivational. It's like, why not go get it? And
yeah,
he's not saying, "Look at me, oh, I'm the best." He's like, "If
yeah,
I can do it, you can do it." I
yeah,
had so many dollars when I started, and now look at who I am.
yeah,
I use me as an example. So he has that. He has that tool where he has that charisma where he can relate to the audience and
yeah,
not come off as, oh, look at me, me. And I use them for motivation almost every day, or times that I do need a pick me up in terms of like 92 social or
yeah.
anything other or any business ventures. So it's something that is, I always suggest watching a Ryan Serhant video if
Mhm.
you're going towards a business, if you're
Yeah.
starting a business or anything along those lines, because he definitely helps you in that
Interesting.
sort.
Yeah, a friend of mine who's in marketing and advertising, I told him about Sirhan, and he's like, "Who is this guy?" And he looked. One day, he was actually the next day he was walking out of the back of his building, and it's near the garbage bins, and a Ryan Sirhan book was sitting right there on the floor, on the ground. He's like, "Is this the guy?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm gonna read his book. This is a sign."
It,
And
it
he's like,
is,
"Yeah, the guy's motivational." So good
he,
for him. Whatever works for him, and whatever works for people.
and he found his niche. Now he's getting after it, which is a good example. But also leads to my next question: do you
Sure.
see yourself being like a Ryan Serhant? Maybe get on. I know because I knew you dabbled on YouTube, and I know
Yeah,
you.
we had a little show thing going, but the only issue was consistency, and the videographer was also a he did a lot of travel shooting,
Mm.
and he decided he was going to move down to Ecuador and Colombia and then Banff. So we just couldn't do it. Like he was my guy. I didn't want to switch over to anyone else, but you never know. I might end up doing something. Never say never, but as of now, it's not really the plan.
Well, I like you do again. Another reason why I wanted you on the podcast because
Mm.
I saw that and I was like, I want to do that, and that's what kind of started this whole scheme. What I'm doing right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So on back of the let's head back to the real estate topic. Is it a good time to buy or rent in a time like this?
What I tell people, because I get this a lot. I've been getting a lot of calls and texts because the sun's out, the heat is coming out. You're feeling it. People are more confident. We're looking at these COVID rates and such, and people want to get out there. So what I would say is I can only speak about Toronto and mainly downtown and midtown Toronto. In terms of deals, when it comes to condos, I haven't. Sorry, when it comes to houses, I haven't seen many deals yet.
Mm.
And when it comes to condos, I still haven't seen many deals yet. I mean, I'm seeing multiple offers and bidding wars on houses across downtown, East End, and West End. So, is it a good time? It really depends on the individual situation. If you're on the cusp, like someone who's almost getting pushed out of the market, it might be an opportunity for you to get in the market right now. With that being said, you never know what the economy with this COVID thing. I don't know if the economy doesn't do well, the real estate market might follow eventually. So we will see. But as of now, there's no signs of it going down.
See that's the thing. 'Cause again, I'm always looking at maybe the next deal or just like areas because
Mm-hmm.
as of right now, like right now I'm in Liberty Village, which is a melting pot, and there's a building in front of being built in front of mine,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where it's good for right now,
Mhm.
but I'm looking for the next spot. So I'm not too sure if I should. Like obviously, I want to save up and see if I can buy something, but
Yeah.
where would be the next location? Because I'm thinking Blue West.
Well,
And
it depends on your lifestyle, right?
good point.
It depends on your lifestyle. So I would say, uh, for me, I live in like Summer Hill, Rosedale area, right? So, that is central Toronto. It's close to, I mean, we have everything in this neighborhood. I got the Don Valley, I got the Rosedale Valley. But if you're looking for party time and bars and stuff, this is not the place. Liberty Village is more the place. King West is more the place. If you're looking more artsy, laid back, Queen West is probably the place. Even Dundas West and Ossington are getting to be like that as well. But in terms of pricing, outside of the city, I'm starting to see. I know this sounds funny, but I'm starting to see people cozy up to Hamilton.
Oh
People
yeah.
are, people are cozying up to KW, Kitchener-Waterloo,
Mm-hmm.
because you have all the tech firms there. I don't know how long they're going to be there because again, COVID, you never know. But those are places people are opening up to Ottawa. So there are opportunities outside of Toronto. Just that Toronto seems to be the happening place, and a lot where a lot of the jobs are as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go off what you were saying, I know countless people that either decided to go out east into like the Pickering or Brooklyn.
Yeah,
But I know a lot of people that are off to Hamilton. They're buying
yeah,
a spot. Our mutual friend,
yeah,
Pav, he's in Hamilton now.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of, because I worked in Hamilton and I kind of see that coming in the come up, and especially in the different areas that they're buying in. But I also heard like St. Catharines is
Mm.
next, like
So Niagara region
or the
and
Niagara region, because with all the wineries, because that is a great, again, good point that you mentioned. Like, what do you want and where do
yeah,
you want to
yeah,
be?
yeah,
Because I know a few people that are thinking just going to Niagara because they love the wine country.
yeah,
They do like that little entertainment where they can go to the wineries or vineyards or
yeah.
something, uh, and then just have that chill,
Yeah.
relaxed vibe. So
Again,
it's
yeah, it depends on the lifestyle, like you're saying, or like I was saying is, Toronto. I had a conversation with a friend today. He moved out of town. He's in Port Perry now, actually.
oh.
Beautiful place on the lake, gorgeous.
Mhm.
But he said to him, Toronto's become the 3-day place for him because he's like, I go to visit and then I come back home. I'll go for 3 days or something, and that's how I feel about New York City. That's my personal feeling.
Mhm.
When I go to New York, I don't stay 2 weeks or a week. I stay like 3 or 4 days. But that's what Toronto's becoming for some people. They either want to pay to live in the expensive city with everything, or pay less and live elsewhere and come whenever they please, right?
It,
Uh,
it's funny you said that. I know a guy who lives in Muskoka, but
yeah,
he's here maybe like you were saying, a 3-day stint,
yeah,
especially with certain jobs. He's
yeah,
in Toronto, but he's like half the time he just goes up to 400
yeah,
and he's good.
yeah,
And I remember him saying briefly, he was like, "This is the best decision I've ever made."
yeah,
He's saving a lot more money.
yeah.
He bought a place near the lake,
Nice.
and he's like, "I'm good." Granted, it's not the like cottage, but
Yeah,
it's a great little house, and that might be the trend. And
it
that
might be
might
the
be the
trend.
trend
It might be the
nowadays.
trend, and working in Toronto. It's different if you work in Toronto because then there's the stress of traveling. And I know a lot of people who've done that. It's really hard. I know guys who've done it from Stony Creek, which is Hamilton.
Yeah.
People have done it from Alliston, and it's not pleasant. Traffic's bad. So you either have to get a job that you can work at home or a job in your county or region. That's
Yeah.
that's more. Or you pay big bucks and make more money here in Toronto, but you spend more. So yeah,
You spend more time in the car. And I remember making the trip from Mississauga to Hamilton, and
nuts, didn't it?
yeah, my poor car,
Yeah.
it was less than 100 clicks, and then now it's almost at 200. Son
Wow.
of a bitch.
Wow.
But yeah, I know it's always an interesting it's always an interesting conversation with people of where do they want to go after where they are right now? And you get a wide range of people, like we're saying, Muskoka and travels to Toronto or Port Perry. But how do you kind of stay on those trends? Like, do you talk to people?
Oh yeah, news. I mean, the trends that I keep up with, there's different ones. There's ones that are my circle and my network of people, and then I look at news and what people are saying in different neighborhoods or in different towns and cities. And there's some people who think that Toronto's overvalued. There's some people think that Toronto's the only value. I have a friend in Halifax who absolutely loves Toronto. He just thinks it's super expensive, but he likes to visit. And he's a lawyer. He could come here. He can make more money here, but he knows he's going to spend more money here. Or he could be out in Halifax, make less money, spend 60% less on real estate than here. Right? He only makes 30% less there. So he makes let's say he makes 125K here, and but real estate cost 700K. In Halifax, he makes 70K, and he's spending 300K. So
it's math.
Yeah, so you got to figure out what you like. He loves Toronto, but he wants to be, he'll come here eventually. He says so. Yeah, that's what people say. And then with Calgary, and then I look at, I speak to people from Calgary, Montreal, and like a lot of people are thinking of going to Montreal actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the market that yeah, I know, huh? I don't know about that.
I don't know about those Habs fans, but
man, like I love Montreal, but the people, I'm gonna be transparent. It's all good.
No, it's fine. Like, look, yeah, I asked them why. I'm like, do you speak any French? Like, no. I'm like, good luck. You need to speak some French. So
that's the thing. As soon as with Montreal, side note, is beautiful city, city. But as soon as they find out that, again, this is based off my experience, that you don't speak fluent French, they get a little snarky.
Yeah.
But I'm from Canada.
Yeah.
I'm just from Toronto. What are you doing? Anyways, but so out of your years of experience, have you ever had that one advice that you kind of take to your day to day?
Yeah, I mean, my number one, and I don't know where I got this quote. I've heard it many times, but hard work wins. Hard work wins. You can make all the excuses in the world, especially in this country. For the most part, there's really no excuse for you to not try and excel. Unless it's some sort of health disease of some sort. Hard work wins. It might be longer for other people and shorter for others, but hard work wins. So you'll eventually get there if you just keep working hard.
Yeah, go off on that. There's one piece of advice is that I've heard, or someone in conversation said, is hard work beats talent.
It's true.
And that's so true.
I got that from boxing.
It's a sporting reference. Yeah, because I got it from hockey.
It is? Oh, it's a sporting reference, is it?
I got it from hockey.
I got it from my coach, because my coach used to tell me, because I did a charity boxing match last year.
Yeah, I remember.
I do them once in a while, and I won, by the way.
Humble brag. That is humble brag.
No, my coach back in the day, and she was in the West End Kingsway Boxing. I believe it was her or her assistant coach, and they told me I was talented, but I stopped boxing for a while, and I came back, and all the guys I used to train with were better than me, and some of them they were very easy to beat, to spar with. They were better than me because they put in the work. I wasn't training.
Yeah.
So I wasn't putting in that hard work. And yeah, I had natural talent, but I didn't have the work ethic that those guys did. And they surpassed me. They all did.
And that kind of goes back to Ryan Serhant too. That kind of, he's trying to instill that hard work. And then it's the cliches that are so true. And some people kind of blow it off and go, oh, that's just a cliche. But you got to take it with a grain of salt. Read between the lines. It's always hard work. It always comes down to hard work, the grind. Because there's, especially in a time like this, like for me, where it's it's just hard that trying to like find clients, potential clients, or just get like my business going. And there's times where people, yeah, are you thinking about something else? I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm even thinking about another business opportunity in the near future, but
Yeah.
I know that I have to have the groundwork. There's has to be hard work because that will always pay off in the long term.
Yes.
And there's multiple times where I was like, there's like, I'm working hard, but I'm seeing no results. I'm seeing nothing. And at times it is negative. It's like, you know what, why am I doing this? But as soon as you think that there's a spark plug, there's a little positivity, you're like, that's why I'm doing it. And it's the rush. And that's probably more of the entrepreneurial side. And I'm sure you can relate. But that's a feel good story. And on that note, do you have any feel good stories from your experience in real estate?
Any feel goods? I think for me, there's a few, but the first time I sold a place was definitely a feel good story. And the first time I bought a place is a feel good story as well, right? So that the first sale I made basically was the reason for my purchase, if you think about it, right? Like if I didn't make that first sale, I probably would not be in real estate anymore. And if I wasn't in real estate, I would not have been able to buy my first house. So that's feel good all around in this industry for me. And the thing is that first person I sold to is now on his second property, and he's younger than me, and that he worked his ass off. He was a laborer, and he was I think he was carpentry, and that kid put in all the extra hours. His name was Mario. He put in all the extra hours for overtime because they get paid well when they do overtime in those jobs, just to save up for his place. And then after 3 years, he was on to his next place. He put in all the extra overtime hours. It was amazing. I thought it was admirable. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very proud of that guy.
As soon as you hear or see that, you made your first sale, do you do the Michael Jordan, like running down the hallway? Like,
actually, you know what? I had a cubicle at this brokerage that I was at, and I had a piece of paper in my hand, and I was like this. And it was so funny. The other agent sent me a text, like she knew it was my first one, and she's like, "Congratulations on your sale." And all I put was thanks, but I really wanted to write more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. There you go, camera. Yeah. So on a final note, like we were mentioning before, people are like, we're all in this together, and it's not just one industry, it's just a wide spread of industries that have been affected. So I usually give this opportunity to my guests. And so do you want to shout out any businesses that you always go to that are kind of struggling at the moment? That could be a coffee shop, restaurant, grocery store, or even like a boxing gym.
I mean, I will shout out a few in Etobicoke. I don't know who's struggling, who's not. I mean, a lot of people don't show their colors, but I will shout out Kingsway Boxing Club. They're in the West End in Etobicoke. They're in Bloor and Royal York, as well as Jutland and Islington area. They do a lot with kids, especially young women, with just training and self-defense. So Jen and Verge, I'll shout them out. My go-to spot for eats downtown is the Humusaya. It's a hummus place. It's super, super, super good. It's right behind Ryerson. You gotta enjoy that.
I love hummus.
Humusaya. Oh, buddy.
See, this is one of the things I fell in love with in quarantine is hummus.
It's called the Humusaya. You get your best hummus ever with some good ingredients. And then in terms of cafes, I mean, where I go all over the place. So I mean, I'm more of a boxcar socials that we have up the street, but they're not open. So I've been cheating. I've been going everywhere. I went on a bike ride the other day to like find a coffee shop on a Sunday, and everything was freaking closed. I can make coffee at home, but I just like the process of someone doing it for me,
It's a Sunday thing, man. It's a Sunday thing.
Man just wants a coffee.
We're going to Toronto right now. Man, I just want a coffee right now.
Just want a coffee, man.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So then now it's a good time. You have the floor. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram right now. We're going through a whole rebranding process. It's Instagram is Tony Carvallo Homes, and then my website is just antoniocarvallo.com. That's where you can find me.
All right, thank you, Antonio, for coming on the 92 Social podcast. It was a great conversation about Toronto real estate, what to expect, and celebrity real estate agents like Ryan Serhant. So make sure you check out all his social media down below. And if you're looking to sell or buy or rent a house, apartment, condo in Toronto, make sure you hit him up. And all my socials will be down below as well. So make sure you also subscribe, comment, and leave a like to this video and grow this community. All right, guys. See you later.